Okay, we've started. Okay, welcome everybody. The chair, Bettina Reed, is out. Vice Chair Brian Straffolino is not here yet. It is 5:30, so we're going to kick off. So I assume we should start with nominations for a temporary chair to lead this meeting.
Average.
I was going to suggest Bill Don.
I don't want that.
Brian will have
Yeah, I have a copy of the rules of procedure here.
Oh, good. Good thing. It's been a few years.
You can sit right over here if you like.
Oh.
Sorry. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me, you're Thatcher?
I am.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm John, the town clerk.
Good. Okay, presiding in the absence of the chair and the vice chair, I have rules of procedure from the town clerk, but may I start by asking for introductions? Please, I'll start this one. Just say who you are and what you're doing, why you're here.
Phil Laundrie, Select Board Member. I'm Kennedy, Justice of the Peace.
John Bartholomew, Justice of the Peace. Bill Donahue, Justice of the Peace. Bob Farley, Chairman, Justice of the
Joe Nolan, Justice of the
Andrew Barrington, Justice of the Peace.
Ryan Jennings, Justice of the Peace.
Tracy Increase, Select Board.
Thatcher Fields.
Mr. Fields, is the appellant.
Involved with 10 Ogden's Mill Road.
Good, thank you very much. Some of us are newer than others, which is why I asked for introductions. Okay. We do have a quorum, which is 3 or more members. Let's see, how are we starting? Oh, we're opening the hearing. This is a tax appeal from Thatcher and Jamie Fields. Whose property is 10 Ogden's Mill Road. And what is the parcel number? Mr. Quaterer, do you know the parcel number? Ah, there you go. It's on the warning. Its span is 288-091-10895. So this is the tax assessment appeal hearing of those property owners at that location. We will all first, the appellant and the listers, please take an oath as follows. I will read it for you, and Mr. Fields, you are the appellant, and Mr. Quaterer, you are the lister, the only one, right?
Right.
Okay, here's the oath. Under the pains and penalties of perjury, do you solemnly swear that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please say, I do.
I do.
Thank you. And I am to ask you, Mr. Fields, if you've received a copy of the rules of procedure?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about how we'll proceed?
No.
Okay. Board of Civil Authority members. You know the case we're talking about. Do any of you have any conflict that would require you to recuse yourselves? Selves? Okay. Okay, seeing none, we will go ahead. Mr. Quaterer, will you please describe the property on appeal and its current valuation with your evidence, please? So,
Okay.
would you like to, would it be easier for you to come up here
I could.
and address the people in front of you? How's that?
Sure.
Okay. That's it, all right? Very good. Thank you.
So I just brought the basic information here. Obviously, we have the span and the property ID. And the total value, the assessed value is $1,839,000. It says we know the address. I don't know what much else there is to say.
Okay, the rules of procedure say you're supposed to describe the property's current valuation with supporting evidence,
Okay.
whatever that means.
Yeah, well, I do have some handouts here.
Pretty.
Should I just give them out to everybody?
Are they different from what we already have?
Well,
I don't know.
these are the ones that Thatcher gave. And I had some comparatives here, which is usually how you,
Yeah, we don't have it.
yeah, I can
Okay,
hand them
thank
out.
you. Okay, I guess that is the next thing to do.
Okay. Let me just hand these out to.
So what we
Actually,
have is not-
just
we
state
don't have
two,
this.
they're just stapled together. Yes. Yeah. And yes,
No, the list.
they're just 2 pages.
And they are titled what? Are these the pages that look like this?
No, this is the appellant's evidence. This
Oh.
is the lister's.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Anybody else want?
Oh,
You
okay.
need it still?
This-
Oh, you need it. You need one? Does anybody else? Just Thatcher. Okay. So,
Yes, would you like to
This-
discuss this?
yeah,
Explain this?
yes. So what I'm doing here is doing a comparative based on other properties in the same range in value and size. The same range in value of size, land, type of building and land. I'm looking for similarities here, and I'm trying to build if you will, a comparative. So as far as the evidence, I mean, it's published on the website what we do, how we evaluate properties. We have rules for that, and metrics that we use, land grades, those kinds of things. So it would be hard for me to elaborate in any detail that sort of thing. I thought the easiest thing to do would be bring some comparative land parcels so that you could look at the attributes of them and then see if the what we have here. In the end of the day, we're asking, is this a valid assessment for this property based on the land, the house, the quality, all the things that go into a piece of real estate. So,
And these are all in Heartland?
yes,
as it
these are all
happens.
Heartland.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a very large topic how to, there's a lot of detail that you could get into. And at the end of the day, is it fairly assessed?
Okay, thank you. Let's see. No time, this is not a time for questions at the moment, so if that's it, Mr. Grader,
Yep.
we will now ask the appellant to present his valuation and supporting evidence.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, probably because know what this means, but why is some land excluded? What does that mean?
I think maybe we need to do questions later after we, yeah, not to worry. Hold that question in. Mr. Fields, the floor is yours.
Okay. So, yeah, my basic premise here is we had the townwide reappraisal back in 2019. I'm happy to pay my fair share of taxes. I think it's my obligation to do so. But subsequent to the appraiser appraising my property and every other property in Hartland, the listers came in and changed the appraisal figures and increased my property taxes. And I did prepare a comparison of my property to a couple of budding properties where I think the appraisal on my property is at odds with the appraisal or assessment on these other properties. But Since preparing that document and submitting it, and I think you have a copy of it, Bob was nice enough to share with me the appraisal guidelines. So what I'd like to do, because this is a very obviously subjective exercise, and it's impossible without visiting each and every property on that spreadsheet to get a feel for whether this property of mine is valued correctly. I just like to follow the guidelines in the assessment instructions. So let me hand these out. There we go. Here's the
Thank you.
guidelines. Get my copy out. And my issue is that when the appraisal took place on my property, my excluded acres, of which there are 4, were assessed at $161,200. And I was fine with that. I mean, it's significantly higher than my abutters, but it's also a unique property that I live on. So I accepted it. And then the listers came in, and because I have a cabin on the property, they claimed that I had a second building lot, which is something that the appraiser did not claim. So if we look at these guidelines, if you look at the third bullet in that first section, it says the highest and best use would not include a building lot. And that's what I'm claiming on my property. The highest and best use of my property is not to subdivide it, not to have a second building lot. And I think because the cabin is within 100 feet of the main house, were I to sell the cabin, it would reduce, in my opinion, and I can also get opinions from realtors if need be, I think it would reduce the value of the house by twice the amount of whatever I got for the cabin. Because the whole point in my property is it's isolated, secluded, you don't have neighbors, you don't have people staring in your windows. And next door, behind me on Best Road, is 122 Best Road. That's a house that has 5 cabins on its property. When the assessor assessed that property, he didn't assign it 6 building lots because there's 6 houses on it. 5 cabins, 1 principal house. He assessed the 2 acres at I think $120,000. And then he assessed 5 cabin sites at a total of $18,500. And that's what I have is a cabin site. I don't have a second building lot according to these guidelines. So if you read the 3rd bullet in the first section, you read the 4th bullet in the 2nd section, you read the 1st and last bullet in the 3rd section, the highest and best use of this property is not to subdivide it, not to have a second building lot, and not to assess the second building lot at $81,200 above and beyond what the independent appraiser assessed it at. So I'm not here nickel and diming every single decision that the listers and the independent appraiser have made. I'm fine with everything except this business of taking a second bite at the apple by saying I have a second building lot when under the town's own guidelines, I don't. Bob.
Okay, yeah, well, wait a second. If you've presented your argument, which sounds to me you have, I will ask Mr. Quaterer to respond first, and then we'll go on to questions from the members. So you're up, Mr. Quaterer.
Okay. It's a matter of opinion. We have many houses with second building lots and 3rd and 4th building lots sometimes. The highest and best use would not include a building lot. That's not stipulating not including a building lot. It's saying if putting another building lot was not the highest and best use. If that was a poor use to put a building lot on, we would not want that. But in your case, and in many cases,
all over town, we have more than one building lot. We assess building lots at 50% of the main house building lot. So your main house building lot was assessed at a certain value. And then the second building lot, typically, if you look at, I gave you all the documents, we assess them at half the assessment of the first building lot. Your argument is that there shouldn't be a second building lot.
Right, that's what the guidelines stipulate.
No, they do not stipulate that. It stipulates the highest and best use would not include a building lot. We include building lots all the time. That's highest and best use. If you have enough room for a building lot and you have a house there, it's assessed. I mean, it's all over. I could probably, if I could have given you a listing of how many places like that we have in town.
I could understand that if the building lots were separated by more than 100 feet, say 500-600 feet. But my own neighbor on 122 Best Road, he has 5 cabins and 1 house and 1 building lot, not 6 building lots.
Right, so that's a totally different configuration.
What's different about it? He has 5 rental cabins, I have 1.
Excuse me, I don't think we should engage in this kind of conversation at the moment.
Sure.
Thank you. I mean, we will indeed deal with the argument, and I believe we've presented the argument, and Mr. Quater has tried to defend what we've done, so I think we know that.
But I do think it's worth taking 15 minutes away from this meeting to go through this language very slowly and methodically.
I don't disagree, but I don't think the two of you need to discuss it.
Now.
That's my point now. And I think
now
now questions from the board members about what you've heard so far. We will obviously have to digest this.
Sure.
Trace.
My question is, do we have an opportunity to really look at this and then get back to it? Do we have a chance to go to the site and visit it?
We are required to do that, and we will appoint an inspection committee to do that after.
30 days, I think.
Yep.
30 days.
That's
what
yeah.
Get back to me.
Yeah, part of the
plenty
process
time.
is that we will tonight appoint an inspection committee of 3 people, and we will visit the property.
Both sides.
We will look at everything, not just that cabin, as you probably know, because the law requires us to look at everything, whether it's an issue or not. Yep, Phil.
There's mention of an independent appraiser. Can someone explain who or what or who contracted with this?
Yeah, was that your appraiser? Or?
No, I'm talking about the townwide reappraisal that took place in 2019, where they reset the assessments, a third party did, for every single structure in town.
Okay, so when you were
just as a true up to get the values back to at least 80% of the values and get the discrepancies on similar houses below 25%.
Okay, but it is true that, so you did refer to that somewhere as.
It did.
Where is it, Tom? I mean, we should just make a note that that's what your reference is.
Sure.
It's on the first page.
Yep.
It says third party assessor.
Oh, right, okay, kind of halfway down the last, the paragraph on the right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means, you mean the 2019 appraisal. Okay, thank you very much. Other questions? Yep, Tom.
Is there acreage where there is a second building, but you don't treat it as a separate building and lot from that, or it's just considered one?
Yeah, if you have a main house, that's your a house site or a building lot. If you have another house on your property, it's also a building lot. We don't just keep adding building lots, because I think that's what this language is talking about here. The highest and best use would not include a building lot. So what that means is we wouldn't put 20 building lots on his property. Say, oh, you got 20 acres, we'll put 10 building lots and assess you for that. It's meant to be a metric that's used to help come with a fair appraisal.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to argue with my question is, So are there any examples in town where there is a second building on a lot, but it's not considered a second building lot?
No.
Well, how about 122 Best Road?
So can you just?
Okay, yeah, he's making a point that makes sense. Typical dwellings that are full-time houses that people live in, they're always assessed on the building lot. What you're referring to is that farm, what's the name of that property?
Fat Sheep.
Fat Sheep Farm, okay. I don't think people live in those cabins year-round. I believe it's a business, much like, you stay there for a while.
Tourist.
But
Wait, I
Just to-
think maybe you should return to
Sure.
the audience, and,
Okay.
or whatever we call this,
But-
please, and we'll let the board
yeah,
continue to ask questions of,
but
I
I
guess if
just
any-
want to clarify one thing on that last point. Our cabin, we Airbnb it.
Yeah.
There's nobody living there full-time. So people are renting that for 1 day, 2 days, 5 days. We're doing exactly the same thing as Todd's doing at Sheep Farm there with his 5 cabins. The only difference is we have 1 cabin and he has 5.
Can I answer that?
I guess so. I really like questions from the board at this point.
That's all right.
We're going to have to thrash this out, there's no question, and we've heard what you have to say. Other questions from,
I have a question.
No.
What were you going to say?
Yeah, what I was going to say is, how you use a house means nothing. It's highest and best use. I can have another house on my property, not rent it out, put newspapers in there. We're going to assess it as a house at its highest and best use. You may decide, you may not use it for a house. It might be totally functioning. The point I'm trying to make, highest and best use is, if it's there, it can be used as a full-time house. And that's the way we assess things all the time.
John?
Just wondering how you're viewing the Best Road property differently with the 5 cabins. Could they be habitable as full-time houses, or are they not?
I haven't, I wasn't, prepared to take that particular stance. I did no research on that. I did a more global research on the global appraisal of properties. And I'm unfamiliar with that, unfortunately. I haven't dealt with that.
Joe?
It does seem really important that if there is a discrepancy between these cabins, between this property and the Best Road property that has 5, which I officiated a wedding there recently, so I know what they look like inside, and they are what you're asking. They have full bedroom, full kitchen, they are like a full house.
Right.
So if we're going by the same way you're describing this property, it does seem it should be done the same way. These cabins are like full houses. So I don't know, I'm just like listening as someone who doesn't really understand this process and thinking, I'm still not hearing why there's a difference between the two.
This will be part of our discussion going forward,
Okay.
obviously. I mean, it's not, we're not settling at this meeting.
Yeah.
Let's confine questions to, may I ask if there are other board members first, Mr. Fields? Anyone else with questions from the board? Clyde?
Well, my question is, if in 2019, the base of a 2-acre lot was 75.1, how do you get 182 left? That means you've got a multiplier of over 200%, right?
That's a base value, but it's evaluated on the type of property it is. So like a base would be like maybe at that time an average, 2-acre lot. Now I can think of 2 houses right now where you have a house and it's got a hill on one side and a hill on the other side. That's going to be assessed less because the house side is such that you can just squeeze a house in there. And so it would be, that base lot is kind of a metric that was used then, and then it's made larger or smaller based on the particular parcel.
Depending on its characteristics.
Yeah, the characteristics. I can think of several houses where, they might have an acre, but there's just enough room to put a house on a level piece of land. Or you're putting the house on a slanted piece of land, which is I've seen that, it looks like it'll slide down the hill. That's going to be evaluated as a lower price on the building lot size, on the building lot.
Okay, presumably this will be a feature of our discussion as well, I assume, when we going forward. Anyone else before? Yes, John?
Do you have any idea how many, you mentioned that there are other houses assessed the same way where there's a second lot. Do you have any idea of many I'm talking about across the town?
In my example, I've included about 5 or more of those.
You mean,
In my handout.
on this handout there are, okay.
Yeah, like if you look.
Could you tell us which ones those are, or is it so obvious that I'm missing
They're
it?
on line 5.
Number 5.
Line 6, I'll do it again. Line 5 has 2 houses out over some land.
Oh, I see, it says that, doesn't it? Yes.
It's in the description.
Yep.
Line 6 is 2 houses.
And then 14.
Line 14 has
14,
3
15.
houses out over some land. Line 15 has 3 houses.
Okay.
I could have pulled
More,
quite a few.
with that characteristic,
Yeah.
but
No, it happens.
not those values is what, you were trying to do values.
Yeah, I was looking at the total values. At the end of the day, that's the important thing, is it assessed fairly.
Okay.
You may look at the metrics and say, well, I don't know if I agree with the way they did that or this. The question is the final product accurate?
Okay. Does that help, John? I actually think our property also has the same situation. Our house and farmhouse. All one. Anyway, other questions? I guess not.
Is the house
Yeah, okay.
somehow subdivided out of that property and has its own acreage with it?
That's true of all our houses, I think, isn't it?
Excuse me?
Isn't that true of all our houses? House and 2 acres?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily.
That's a taxable space.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, I don't think it's necessarily physically demarcated, but,
No, but the,
or, is that right, Mr. Prater? But it's a house and 2 acres is
That's the
the taxable thingy, yeah.
That's what we consider a building lot.
Right, plus the
There are
water.
many houses in town that have less than 2 acres, in which case it defaults to the size.
Right, plus the water and the sewer and stuff, so that, yeah, yep. So every house does, well.
and this says 4 acres.
Where are you?
Are the changes to the listers on the first document we received, which is
Okay, we will have a full discussion of this, and given that we've just seen it, most of us, or many of us for the first time tonight, do not feel you have to know it all tonight. Mr. Fields, anything else before we?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple points. The first is, I'm not saying that my assessment is too high by 100%. I'm saying I believe it's too high by $81,200. So when you have a list of $1 million+ properties without seeing each and every one of them and coming up the curve on all of the assessment criteria and methodology, it's very subjective and difficult. It's more of an art in some cases than a science to try to nail down the exact number. I'm not trying to get to an exact number. I'm just focused totally now on page 4 of the Lister guidelines. And while we don't need to do it now, I suggest everybody read those very closely, and by all means, have your town council take a look at it.
That will be part of our
And I think
discussion.
he will say that a second building lot does not apply to this property because the houses are in such close proximity that if you were to subdivide this property, you would decrease rather than increase the value, which is not consistent with the best value.
Thank you,
And that's all I have to say.
thank you. We will appoint an inspection committee, and they will make an appointment with you to inspect the whole property, as you know, not just.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so do we have good contact information for you?
I
Telephone?
believe so.
Do you have what you need?
Yes, I do have the email for that.
Okay. Goody. So we will do that, and we will then recess this meeting, and they will inspect the property. They will report to the committee. We'll discuss it and make a decision and let you know, as you know. So thank you for coming.
Well, so thank you very much for your time and attention.
Sorry, so just to be clear, at the end,
Yes.
after the inspection, we will call another meeting, so
Yep.
Thatcher, Bob, you'll be back for that.
Yep.
All right.
You like good. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank
Appreciate it. Yep. Okay, sports fans, let's find out who'd like to go on this, be on this inspection committee. Enda?
Yeah.
A volunteer, look at the good example, some people sit. One volunteer, we need two more, Tom Kennedy. Enda Farrington, Tom Kennedy. Joe, did you say?
I was asking how many.
Three, we need at least three. I guess you could have more.
It's
In fact, we have had people go along as well, but we must appoint a committee of three members. So I got Andrea, and Tom Kennedy. Phil? Okay, is that acceptable, everyone? I did the last tax appeal on this property a number of years ago, so I'm happy not to go.
That'd be good. You know what you're doing, because I don't.
No, it's, well, does everyone have access to, Andy, you had something, I've got handbook on property tax assessment appeal.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, I think it's online, it wasn't in what you sent me,
Sure.
it wasn't in what you sent me, but I think you can get it online. Mine says 2009, hey, would you be quiet, please, you guys? Thank you very much. Mine says date revised 2009. I think it's even, I believe it's still the most current, but anyway. Mr. Quater?
Yeah,
Question?
this book that is being referenced, the guidelines,
Yes.
is on the website on the assessor page.
That is also on the website, oh, I see, so we
Yeah,
could
it's
look
on
in,
the web- This book, that's being referenced by Thatcher.
and so that would be under, you said on the
It's on the
assessment.
website, it's under the assessor's page.
Assessors.
And you gotta go down in the bottom and, they do have certain,
And it's called appraisal guidelines.
they
Okay.
have certain documents that are.
So we can educate ourselves as to how this fits.
Yeah, read the whole
fits in,
thing.
Yeah.
And for tax assessment?
It's really this offer.
Because there's clearly a difference in interpretation of what's here from our point, or from Mr. Quater's point of view and Mr. Fields. I guess we have to decide. Okay, I guess that's it for this subject. We'll come back, the inspection team will write up a report, submit it to us, we will meet again and discuss it. So, yeah.
I just want to make a comment, and it's real, because people might be wondering why I put this picture page on. It's not meant to, the only reason I put this picture page was just to show how different properties could be. And so when properties are assessed,
That's good.
it's comes into the picture. So you might look at these and say, well, I like this house the best or not. So that's the only reason it's there, just to show some of the variety we have in town and some of the metrics and some of the things we got to look at when we value the property. That's all it is.
Right, well,
It's not meant to prove anything.
he did not, Mr. Quaterer, I guess, uses as his comparables.
Well, it
The
looks
issue-
like a comparable
No.
sheet, it really is not.
No, I know it isn't, but the issue is that we as a board, I believe, are limited to looking at the comparables that have been presented. I mean, he has presented fact sheet as a comparable with regard to the taxation of the building lot stuff. And you have presented no comparables except, and then they aren't really comparables. But I believe we could, as a board, look at all the property cards on all these pieces of property, which is what we would normally do in making a decision on the appeal. Isn't that right?
I sort of
Yeah.
disagree with you.
Okay, fine, let's hear it, yeah.
I think his main argument is an adjoining property owner did not have his buildings on his property divided.
Yeah, I think we know that, we see that.
But that's what he's arguing. So his argument is going to be, I think there's been a precedent in this town where we didn't follow another home and 2 acres.
Right.
And that we need to know
Yeah,
what makes that so different, because to me, there was a precedent set.
yeah.
And so.
Unfortunately, we don't know them all. Bill.
But that's the only one in town, there's a verdict here,
Oh, I don't
where there was
I don't think so.
a second home on a property, and that home was considered a separate building, 2 acres in a building.
No, he didn't say that at all. I mean, maybe we should not have, wait.
Yeah, but I think you got
Yeah.
it backwards. But I think this appeal raises a legal question. I really don't think,
It's up-
we can go and take a look.
Yeah, and we have to, actually. Yeah.
We have to do it, but,
But on the issue itself is.
On the issue itself, it's just
We need more advice, yeah.
Well, I believe it's a requirement when you assess property, if there's a second dwelling, it has to be assigned a house site. If you've got, like, Lemax Farm has 3 house sites, because they should actually have 4. Because there's the farmhouse, the house on the hill,
Right.
the mobile home, and the wool house across the road.
Yeah.
So there should be 4 2-acre house sites.
what about fat sheep?
Huh?
What about the fat sheep?
Are those house sites, yeah, right. It's been treated differently, obviously.
They're treated differently, and I'll say that, but typically, if you look on the sheet I gave out, I have house sites, one of the columns. Say there's no comparables, there's 6 house sites, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4 house sites on one property. So, and the other thing that comparables are, again, multiple houses, this is done every day. Is Fat Sheep being treated differently? It's being treated differently in a sense, but is the final evaluation and assessment accurate? That's the question, not so much the methodology.
Well,
that's
I
good.
think we've
Yeah,
heard
Bill.
enough, and I move to adjourn this hearing.
Is there a second to that? In fact, it's not debatable, is it? All in favor of adjourning the hearing? Okay, thank you. I mean, that doesn't mean we're ended.
No.
Yes.
Thank you.
Tom.
Well, just didn't want to run it down.
Okay, so we have adjourned this hearing at 6:10.
What's gonna happen?
So the 3 of you need to get together to find out when's a good time to go on your inspection.
And we have to do it within 30 days.
Within 30 days,
right?
yep.
And report back to us.
The report needs to be back within 30 days.
Wait, Tom, wait, the report needs to be back within 30 days.
No.
Last week in July, I worked with them.
This is July.
Yeah.
Are we doing a checklist after this?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not supposed to go away. Checklist time now. Okay, so the 3 of you get together somehow, get in touch with him, let each other know, let the town clerk know, I think, also.
Yes, I will.
The time and date of the inspection.
Schedule this.
And he will let the rest of us know. Other people can attend, I remember that, because I think someone else came along when I did Fat Sheep one year too. Maybe you came along. Yeah, I mean, more people can.
To reset the date, to reconvene.
Tentative date to reconvene? What have you got, John?
I might want to check on that and email out to the group. I just want to make sure it falls within the right period of time. We're looking at.
This is the 7th, July 17th. So what's the drop dead date?
aiming for,
What's the final date?
You said last week of July, right?
You're talking about two different things. You're talking about the next BCA meeting, we're talking about the inspection.
Same thing.
could be looking for the middle of August. I want to check on the timeframes and make sure that I'm accurate in scheduling this at the time that it needs to be.
What is the deadline? Can you?
I believe it's 30 days to get the report back here, but I don't recall when the hearing needs to take place, the second hearing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you're going to double check on that?
Yeah,
So
let me check on that and I'll email the group.
Okay, we don't know that at the moment. Okay, more to be learned and heard of and all that. So now we're doing now we're looking at the checklist, which you can do by yourself, I thought.
I'm happy to run over it with the group real quick. I've looked through in past BCA meetings. We do this every 2 years. What do you recall? In past meetings, it's been helpful to have the BCA take the challenged voter checklist that we have here, review it on your own time, and then when we schedule this next BCA meeting for finalizing the hearing, you can give me your marked up lists of individuals that have moved out of town or passed on. This checklist I'm giving you are all of the challenged voters in Hartland. On this list, it does specify what date they were challenged. So we have a couple of things moving here.
Oh, in the right-hand, far right-hand column. Yeah.
We need to figure out which voters we're comfortable purging with your authority. Based on their challenge date, we have several on here that have been challenged for more than 2 years. And we have several that are more recent challenges. And by statute, they need to have gone through 2 general elections before we could, purge that voter. Unless there is, as I said, some, knowledge of an individual passing on, moving out of town, such and such. So I'll be seeking authorization from the BCA to both purge voters that we believe fit within the correct time frame, and to also mail every other voter on the checklist with a challenge letter, asking them to, update their current residence status. So these are the checklists. I'll hand them out. I'm also required to show the BCA the voters that have been added to the checklist since the last checklist review, so over the last 2 years, and all the voters who have been purged from that checklist over the last 2 years. Those lists are up here for you to review as well if you're interested in that. These are all purges that took place based on death notices or somebody moving out of town that allow the clerk to do that without the BCA. Mostly people who have passed on. Yeah. But anyway, this is the challenge voter checklist, so you can all.
So are you wanting us to do something tonight at this meeting, or is this?
This can be just
handing stuff out for us to.
Officially, my timeline on this is I need to send a letter to the Secretary of State's office by September 15th, stating that the Hartland BCA has reviewed their voter checklist.
Okay, so we're not going to sit here and go over lists. We're taking them home. Right?
Good.
Homework.
These are all the public checklists. Appropriate information has been removed. These are free to give out to everybody. So. Is
that clear to everyone?
Which one, sorry?
It's not clear to John Bartholomew. John, what is not clear, John?
You said this is a list of challenge.
Yes.
What does that specifically mean, challenge?
You challenge voter?
There we go. Yes, what is a challenge voter?
So if I were to mail you a ballot, or a ballot was in 99% of the cases, the ballot was mailed to somebody. There's a general election, the state has automatically mailed ballots to everybody, and then that ballot gets returned to me, that person is not available, that's an undeliverable, wrong address, someone else is living there, that will get returned to me as undeliverable mail, which is reason to believe that the person doesn't live there anymore. So I don't just remove their voter record, I challenge their voter record. And they need to now come forward and prove they still live at this residence, they've moved somewhere else, or state to us that they've moved out of Hartland so that they can be removed from the checklist.
Is that the only way they would be challenged, by return ballots?
I mean, that's one mechanism. Another is, if there's been a property transaction that would lead us to believe that somebody may not live in town anymore, their record could be challenged.
And we've done it ourselves, actually. I mean, when we have gone through the checklist with the clerk, someone will say, what's his name? John Smith graduated, or is in the Marines, and he's in California. I know that. And so you might ask the clerk to check.
Yes.
So we do it with our own knowledge too, or our own suspicions. No, wrong word, not suspicions, but. So, any other questions or? Free to go home for dinner? Anything else, anyone? Guess not. Okay, thanks for being here. It's nice to come and be cool, actually. I was surprised. Maybe stay.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yes, motion to adjourn, please.
What was that?
John Bartholomew. Motion to adjourn. Anna, do you second the motion to adjourn? Yes.
Yes.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. The motion is adjourned. Must be a Conservation Commission meeting? No? Planning Commission, forgive me. I don't know who's on what board.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Yep.
Can we, the people that are going to do the
Here are
decision,
your,
can we do the decision?